Turkey, the cradle of civilization, for travelers with a taste for adventure, history, folklore, and natural beauty. Turkey is a country that in the 90s is finally coming into its own. Everyone knows about Greece, and most travelers have already been there. But what about Turkey? If it's history you crave, Turkey has perhaps 10 times as many ancient ruins and archaeological sites as Greece. If you desire beautiful azure Mediterranean coastlines, Turkey has more lovely coves, bays, and coastal villages than its Greek neighbor. And the food. Turkish cuisine and wine are some of the finest in the world. In addition, the climate is pleasant. The people are friendly and helpful. And the accommodations are outstanding. Bora Uzkok's Cultural Folk Tours International offers the traveler a unique focus on Turkey's culture, history, and folklore.
Discover the new.
You'll see Turkey's heritage of art, architecture, archaeology, and biblical and classical sites. You'll see natural beauty and wildlife. Our tour routes make frequent stops for photos. And best of all, you'll really meet the people.
We're going to go to the Blue Mosque right now.
Our experienced English-speaking guides will introduce you to the folklore, tradition, and daily life of Turkey. You'll enjoy village and school visits, folk music and dancing, picnics, tea parties, village weddings, handicrafts, and much, much more. And the museums of Turkey are some of the best in the world. And you'll have plenty of time for great shopping and antique hunting. We keep our tour groups small for the sake of congeniality and for flexibility in scheduling activities. The maximum number in a group is 28, with only 20 people in the average party. You'll travel in a large, modern, air-conditioned bus and eat lunch in local restaurants. We take pride in our human touch.
Yes, but some other patties, they were watering it for tomatoes and other crops.
Our satisfied clients are educated and savvy travelers of all ages who want to get to know the culture of the country they visit. But ultimately, our greatest asset is the friendly, hospitable people of Turkey. They'll make your holiday an enjoyable, memorable experience. Now let's take a look at some of the highlights of our Western Turkey tours, beginning in Istanbul. Istanbul. The name conjures the romance and intrigue of a unique place that bridges Asia and Europe. Istanbul has a skyline that is overpowering, exotic, and alluring, an indelible and unmistakable image known throughout the world. To get an understanding of the beautiful location of the city, we'll cruise in a private boat up the Bosporus, the most important highway of water in this part of the world. On the way, we'll pass magnificent palaces, see local fishermen, pass under Ataturk Bridge, which links Asia and Europe. And we'll make a stop in a small village on the Bosporus to enjoy some of the great Turkish bread.
It's fun. In Turkey, bread is the wonderful, wonderful thing.
Back in Istanbul, we'll visit the Military Museum and see a concert performed by the world's first established military marching ensemble, all wearing colorful traditional uniforms. It's interesting to note and remember that both Mozart and Beethoven were inspired by the music of Turkish military bands. We will also visit several of Turkey's most famous museums and mosques. Here is Topkapı Palace. It was first built by Mehmet the Conqueror in 1453 and was the home of the Sultan until the 19th century. St. Sophia was built by Emperor Justinian of the Roman Empire. It was completed in 537 AD and was known as the greatest Christian church in the world for more than 1,000 years. The famous Blue Mosque was commissioned by Sultan Ahmet in 1603 and was constructed with the deliberate intention of rivaling the St. Sophia. Evenings in Istanbul will unfold at fine local Turkish restaurants, which feature lively entertainment from a gypsy orchestra. A beautiful drive up the Aegean coast will bring us to Çanakkale, where we will visit the legendary city of Troy. Here is the replica of the Trojan horse. This legendary city, immortalized by the Iliad, was assumed to be fiction until the site was pinpointed by an American, Frank Calvert, in the late 19th century. It was crudely excavated by the German Heinrich Schliemann. To date, 9 different Troys have been discovered, all built one on top of the other. Our expert local guide will escort us through this site, which is still in the process of excavation. While in Çanakkale, we will stay at a 4-star hotel overlooking the Dardanelles. And we will see Gallipoli, the peninsula that was the setting for some of the most horrible and heroic battles for both Turks and Allied forces during World War I. Heading south, we will stop in Pergamon to see the Asclepion, an ancient hospital complex. And we visit the teeming port city of Izmir, the hometown of Homer. Here we stay in comfort at the Hilton. The following day, we'll study the incredible Ephesus and its colossal Greek theater. This theater is still used for performances. The Marble Road leads to the Celsus Library, where Turkish folk dancing is occasionally performed. We also pay a visit to the house where Saint Mary lived her final days. And an overnight in Kuşadası, a lovely port town on the Aegean Sea. Our short drive from Kushadasi brings us to Aphrodisias. This great historic site was constructed in honor of the Roman goddess Aphrodite. Aphrodisias was also an ancient center of Roman art. Like a modern Pied Piper, Bora Uzkok, founder and premier leader of cultural folk tours, leads another enchanted and merry group of travelers through the fascinating ruins of Aphrodisias.
It held 1,300 people. It was an Odeon for concerts, poetry reading, and city hall meetings. And it saw its heyday was from 1st century to the middle of 4th century after Christ. With a capacity of 35,000 people, boxing, walking, running games, and as well as some animal shows were done here in this stadium.
We'll take lunch at a nearby restaurant, complete with entertainment by folk musicians. Then we'll continue our drive to Pamukkale, one of the natural wonders of the world. Here are the snow-like tavertines of Calcium. It's an ancient Greco-Roman site and city with waters believed to have healing properties. The hot mineral waters burst from the cliff to run through a ruined Hellenistic city. Then they cascade over a cliff, creating dazzling waterfalls of solidified calcium that stretch more than 300 feet down the hillside. Overnight here in another fine 4-star hotel. Some of the pleasures of traveling through Turkey with Bora and cultural folk tours are the unexpected, unscheduled stops out in the middle of nowhere to see how the nomadic people of the region live their lives. Sometimes we come upon a cluster of nomad tents where we stop to enjoy fresh and hot mint tea as served by our most hospitable tribal hosts. It's a unique opportunity to examine and purchase one of these handmade tribal carpets direct from the maker.
This is beautiful. I don't know. I feel so excited. My adrenaline is going. It's things like this that make the trip more fun.
I feel chills and excitement. I mean, this is like the most exciting thing.
South of Pamukkale lies the beautiful turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea. Dozens of alluring coves attract pleasure boats from many countries. And this is the coastal city of Antalya. An old Roman city has become today's Turkish Riviera. With a lovely palm tree environment and beautiful hotels, it's an important holiday spot for both Turkish people and foreign tourists. In the old part of the city are plenty of rug and jewelry merchants eager to show you their unique wares. Antalya is situated in very close proximity to places like Perge. The city prospered under Alexander the Great and the Romans, but dwindled under the Byzantines. Here are the substantial remains of a great theater, a stadium, and huge Hellenistic and Roman gates and colonnaded streets. And Aspendos. This is one of the greatest and most well-preserved of the ancient theaters in all of Turkey. And Termessos, an amazing place of antiquity, situated high in the mountains near Antalya. Just down the coast from Antalya is the town of Kaş, where the old church of St. Nicholas stands today. Here then was the origin of the St. Nick of Christmas fame. As the Bishop of Myra, St. Nicholas spent his entire life here. The Church of St. Nicholas is very near the ancient sites of the Kingdom of Lycia in Demir. Few places in the world can match the bizarre and beautiful natural beauty of the Cappadocia region in central Turkey. While in Cappadocia, we'll enjoy the unique landscapes of wind and rain-eroded volcanic formations. We'll also visit the amazing underground cities carved directly into the living rock. Some of these cities go 5 to 7 stories down into the earth.
Going to all directions.
We'll also explore the ancient churches carved into the rocks by early Christians. Inside, we'll study the old rock carvings and beautiful frescoes. We will wine and dine in an underground cabaret, pulsating with lively traditional Turkish music and dance. And enjoy a belly dancing performance. Also on our agenda are stops at ancient handicraft shops, where potters and other craftsmen create their work. We always allow ample time for carefree strolls and off-the-tourist track forays, visiting villages and discovering the little-known nooks and crannies of Cappadocia.
Oh, he's an affectionate baby.
We depart the Cappadocia region and travel north to Ankara, the capital of Turkey since 1923. It's a bustling city of some 5 million people. We'll visit the magnificent Museum of Anatolian Civilizations. This particular museum contains relics from Çatalhöyük, one of the earliest known human communities. Some of the pieces here are more than 5,000 years old. Relics displayed follow Turkish history right up to the Roman classical period. We'll also pay a visit to the mausoleum of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the father of modern Turkey. This immense, awesome landmark is perched atop a hill with a panoramic view of the city. One cannot overestimate the influence Atatürk had in shaping modern Turkey. Among many things, he was responsible for abolishing Islamic law and putting in its place European legal systems and women's right to vote. He is universally loved to this date by all Turkish people. Our tours through Western Turkey are extremely popular, but equally exciting, if not more so, are the tours we conduct through Eastern Turkey. From Ankara, we travel through rugged countryside on our way to Amasya, named after the Amazon queen Amasis, who founded the town. It is the ancient birthplace of Strabo, the famous geographer. Amasya is not a big tourist stop, but it offers a splendid mixture of old Seljuk and Ottoman Turkish architecture, and the Pontic and Roman presence before them. In the past, our groups have been honored by the city fathers and mothers with welcome receptions and performances of traditional Turkish dances. Amasya is a very typical and earthy town, not far from the Hittite ruins, which we will visit. Many of the ancient Hittite ruins and sites, like Hattushash, are well preserved and provide a fascinating glimpse of a civilization that thrived here some 5,000 years ago. The villages and the country people here are especially warm and hospitable. If we're lucky, we may come upon a village wedding.
Pilav yapıyor, pirinçten. Ha. Yürü ha. Neydi? Yine bir şey. Ya.
A couple of hours north of Amasya lies the enigmatic Black Sea. Once called the Hospitable Sea, the Black Sea is really a misnomer. The sea is in fact quite blue, or rather as azure, green, turquoise, and indigo as the Mediterranean. The Black Sea has some excellent beaches along its 800-mile coastline. Because of the rather short summer here and the often rainy climate, it doesn't draw nearly the number of visitors as does the Mediterranean. On this Eastern Turkey tour, we pass through a number of Black Sea towns and stop at tea plantations where women harvest the best of the tender green leaves. Few people realize that such fruits and flowers as cherries, tulips, carnations, and lilacs all originated in Turkey. A stop is made at the fascinating coastal city of Trabzon, famous for its lively international trading. It's also known for its beautiful architecture and historic site, like the Hagia Sophia and the city walls built by Justinian. Cutting south now from Trabzon, we will take you into a mountainous and verdant land of tea, fir trees, and beautiful rushing rivers. Our destination is the intriguing Monastery of the Black Virgin at Sumela. Often compared with Mount Athos and Meteora in Greece for its spectacular setting, this enormous 7-story monastery is perched on a ledge halfway between heaven and earth. Monks came up here as early as the 4th century. Frescoes from the 18th century cover almost every surface of the inner sanctums. From Trabzon and Sumela, we travel south through the incredible canyons of the southwest slopes of the Caucasus and the Georgian Valley. Emerging from the great steppe of Central Asia, we approach the ancient city of Erzurum. Situated on a high plateau, Erzurum is the site of a 4th century fortress. The Seljuk Turks left many splendid examples of architecture and masonry, many of which we will visit. Here is an 800-year-old seminary. And in the Grand Mosque, we learn much about the Islamic religion and culture. In the remote and mostly mountainous region near the border between Russia and Iran, we will see the sunrise over Mount Ararat, the biblical mountain. We catch glimpses of the daily life of the people here. We'll also see the supposed site of Noah's Ark. And we'll walk into a small Kurdish village to meet the people.
Shake her hand.
We also visit the amazing Ishak Pasha Palace that crowns the hilltop behind the town of Doyubayazit. This 18th century Arabian Nights feudal palace was a combined pleasure palace, mosque, and fortress, taking almost a century to build. On our way to the exotic Lake Van, we make stops at Kurdish villages for pictures. And we stop at this lovely waterfall. This is Lake Van, one of the world's highest lakes at 5,500 feet. We enjoy a delicious lunch at this lakeside restaurant. And afterward, enjoy traditional folk dancing and music of the region. We then take a boat on Lake Van. We're heading for the island of Akdamar to see a 10th century Armenian church. Adorning this Armenian church are carved wooden and stone biblical scenes. With mountains and lake framing this scene, it's certainly one of the most beautiful settings in all of Turkey. Van is an ancient Persian, Kurdish, Armenian city. You will experience a place that very few travelers ever see, with fascinating open markets and numerous carpet and craft stores. It's a shopper's version of paradise.
When you travel this part of the world, you can come and visit us. We will be in your service with the love.
In southeastern Turkey is a unique sight not to be missed. It is called Nemrut. We take sturdy vans up the side of a mountain, seeing goat herds and other rural scenes along the way. We are several thousand feet above sea level. We take a half-hour hike up this man-made hill at the top. Soon we arrive at the ancient temple and memorial of an astoundingly vain king of old Turkey. Everywhere are 2,000-year-old columns and huge heads and sculptures of Greco-Roman gods.
Done by slave citizens 2,050 years ago by the king Antiochus I, who considered himself a god also.
From Nemrut, we cross the Euphrates River and finally arrive in Urfa, the birthplace of the prophet Abraham. Urfa is the city of prophets, a very old, very different and tradition-based city. It is known throughout Turkey and abroad for its beautiful Islamic architecture. All throughout this part of Turkey, you will see people working in the fields in ways unchanged for perhaps thousands of years. Near Urfa is the fantastic place called Haran. Here is the site of the Temple of Sin, famous throughout the ancient world for its star readers and savants. One of the oldest towns in the world, Haran was mentioned in the Bible, was witness to invading Roman and Parthian armies, the last holdout of the Sabians, the pagans who had managed to survive through the 11th century, and finally the Islamic powers. Its beehive-like dwellings are marvels of architecture. Here's an old caravanserai. Standing atop the ruins of the ancient citadel, one overlooks the scattered bits of rock and material history stretching back to the dawn of time. The very potsherds crunching underfoot have an immediacy here, the broken vessels having surely been used by some long-forgotten ancestor from the land of Ur, an acquaintance of Abraham, or a Roman legionnaire from Gaul, whose memory now swirls with the dust devils across the arid, eternal horizon.
Bora has made this tour fantastic. He's an absolute treasure. And Turkey, Turkey, I can't believe it's not overrun with tourists and it's almost empty. I mean, you've got everything. It's a crossroads of the world. If you want history, you want culture, you want folk art, folk dance, food, and Bora makes it happen. The reason we took a tour at Bora is because he goes places that nobody else goes. And they're places it's impractical to get to on your own. In the Turkish East, for instance, up around Van, Mount Ararat, the Black Sea. It's just been an absolutely stunning tour and unforgettable.
This then has just been a brief sketch of the incredible country called Turkey, with friendly people, a richly textured history, and beautiful scenery. Turkey is the country to be discovered in the 1990s. Act now. Join one of Bora Özkok's unique sojourns of discovery into this remarkable land, the cradle of civilization.